Skincare brands love the word stem cells. It sounds futuristic, like a serum is going to rebuild your skin from scratch. Here's the truth though. No skincare product is putting live stem cells into your face. What you are actually getting is conditioned media. What does that mean? Conditioned media is the nutrient broth that those stem cells are grown in. Scientists culture cells, feed them, and the cells secrete proteins, peptides, cytokines, and growth factors into the liquid. The cells are removed, the filtered liquid is bottled, and that becomes your skincare serum. You're buying the signaling molecules they left behind and not the actual stem cells themselves. Let's get into why source matters. The type of stem cell that is used changes that cocktail, that conditioned media you get in your bottle. Is it human fibroblasts, skin cells from your dermis? Is it adipose tissue, cells from the fat of most likely a liposuction donor that's left behind? Bone marrow derived cells, animal tissues, or plant callus cultures? All of these produce different molecules, so you can get the same label, stem cell, but very different soup. That is why evidence must be judged by source, not by the word stem cell. Now let's get into the efficacy, what the data actually shows. A double-blind, randomized, split-faced clinical trial. That's a good one by design, except the sample size was relatively small. Compared topical human fibroblast growth factors with human mesenchymal stem cell growth factors, MSCs, for facial rejuvenation over 12 weeks. So half of the face of all of the participants got the fibroblast growth cells, and the other half got adipose stem cells, so those derived from fat. Both sides improved wrinkling by investigator and subject ratings. So from a performance perspective, there really wasn't a significant difference between the two formulas, and safety and tolerability were also similar. What this supports is that topical growth factor cocktails can produce modest visible improvements. What were the limits of the study though? Small sample size. It was a small sample size, I believe 20 people, short duration, right, 12 weeks. Yes, you begin to start seeing results, no histology, and probable brand involvement. Well, what else? Reviews of topical growth factor products report modest average gains. Improvements in texture and fine lines are usually under 35%, with overall appearance changes often under 50% based on mixed quality studies and heterogeneous products, right? Different types of products. What does that mean? For some users, you get results, but what you don't get is a facelift. You get a maximum of 35% reduction of wrinkles and your skin improving. Now, don't get me wrong, that can change visibly a person's appearance. But again, you're not expecting surgery level results. You're expecting, some lifting, smoother skin, less deeper wrinkles, etc., and gains from that. We are talking about human stem cells though. We haven't talked about animal or plant yet. What was also found that pairing it with the procedure amplified results. This is still early evidence and highly protocol dependent though. Now let's talk about variability and batch consistency. We've talked about recombinant growth factors before. They're single lab engineered molecules. Conditioned media, stem cell related, is a mixture, and potency varies with the donor, the passage number, the culture conditions, the harvest timing, and the filtration. Whoa, lots of words. What does that mean? Companies often start from a single donor or a small donor pool, and they create a master cell bank. So you've got the master cell bank, and then they make working cell banks for production from that master branch. This supports many batches from just one donor, but not forever. Primary cells, even in that master branch, can only undergo a finite number of population doublings, and then they do what human cells do. They senesce. Aging happens. And after that point, whatever they secrete into that conditioned media kind of drifts and goes downhill with passage. So what's the bottom line? You can standardize procedures, but you can't standardize biology. Now let's talk about some safety anchors, especially for melanin-rich and sensitive skin users. So just like recombinant growth factors, lab-engineered growth factors that we've already talked about, but especially more so for stem cell, whether it's human, whether it's animal, true growth factors from that stem cell conditioned media, the proteins in them degrade very rapidly with heat and light. So you want to look for airless, opaque packaging and cold chain claims when appropriate. Ask for microbial and endotoxin testing. Conditioned media should be sterile, right? Filtered, preserved. On freshly disrupted skin, microneedling, lasers, only use products cleared by your clinician and proven clean and stable. In melanin-rich skin specifically, irritation can quickly escalate to post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, and then you fight that for a long time. The biggest caution though is for anybody with autoimmune issues or autoinflammatory issues. If you have these, you want to discuss use of any growth factors with your doctor, with your clinician. These cocktails contain bioactive human proteins that may engage human pathways, so please be mindful before you start using these. Also, anybody with any concern of skin cancer should not use growth factors without talking to your doctor. So this was an introduction into the world of human, animal, and plant growth factors. What's coming up next? Human stem cell conditioned media. We'll talk about foreskin versus adipose versus bone marrow sources, why brands choose them. We'll talk about real product examples, the sources, the ethics, and the safety for actual products. That's the very next episode. For animal stem cells, we'll talk about their sources, receptor compatibility, efficacy, what the gaps are, and risks. And then for plant stem cells, we'll go through, well, what can they really do, where they fit, Support, again, not regeneration. Follow me to continue to learn more about anti-aging, including the science behind some of the top-selling products and growth factor serums out there, and let me know if you have any questions.